Okay, back again working on the Stratus. This time I'm pulling the fuel tank. Uh, I was debating on doing a video on this too, but I figure maybe someone else will do a fuel tank on theirs or need to replace the fuel pump and the fuel filter, which is what I'm doing. All that stuff's up there. There's a few things I figure I'll help y'all with. First things first, I was able to obtain some directions, and so you can go ahead and look at this and just pause the video if needed and kind of zoom in. I know that those letterings are small, but these are the steps to take to do the fuel job. So as you can see, things are down to a trickle right now. So I'm going to quickly just kind of run through what the process is. So always want to disconnect the negative battery cable. So I did that first, and then you don't have to do this step, but I chose to do this step. So if you look at the fuse diagram here, the fuel pump relay is the second one. So I went ahead and pulled that and started the car until it died to alleviate the fuel pressure. And I also went to the fuel rail and took this little deal off. And when you take that off, there's a little stem, a valve stem, just like in your tires. And you just kind of take a claw, put it under there, take a screwdriver like a flathead and just press that stem in to alleviate any pressure. Then you know that the fuel system's unpressurized. Then I went back here, just like the directions say. You pull this rug back, there's a harness that runs through the vehicle and to the back. So in the back seat here, there's this harness right here. So this harness does have a clip. It's a little blue clip. So you just kind of compress both sides, and I don't know if that clip was supposed to come out, but it came out, and put it back. And then you release that clip. There's a rubber grommet that's around here that's attached to the harness. So after you disconnect this, you just pull that rubber grommet up and then push everything through that hole. So went ahead and did that. Should really not have this here before I trip over it. That wouldn't be good. And then after that, here's where I ran into the lovely issue. So while doing this has a fuel drain plug, okay? It is a two-part like drain plug. So you have a main bolt, and then you have this plastic bolt that goes inside of that main bolt. So what's supposed to happen is you just unscrew this bolt and the fuel's supposed to come pouring out. I've got this container here to capture my fuel. There's going to be a little more than 24 quarts, but I'll let y'all know how I figure that problem out. But anyway, so this bolt, this is plastic, and so as you know, it's really brittle, and it broke off. So I'm trying to figure out a solution for a new fuel drain plug because it doesn't pull up in O'Reilly system, and you can't really find one online. So I'll let y'all know. I may just end up going with an oil drain plug without the secondary plastic piece right there that broke, and hopefully that'll seal it all so I don't have any leaks, and just tighten that down really good, so that won't be an issue. I just won't have the option to, you know, quickly drain the fuel if I need to, which I don't plan on dropping this fuel tank anytime soon after this, because I'm replacing all of that stuff. But just so you know, this first bolt right here, this plastic one is a 19 mil. And if yours happens to break like mine did, because it's really brittle, the second bolt is a 24 millimeter. So it's a pretty big one. I actually had to go and purchase a 1/2-inch ratchet for this 24 socket, 24 millimeter socket. So if you're doing this, just make sure that whenever you're draining this fuel system or this fuel tank, you have your two sockets and then your 1/2-inch ratchet. So right now I'm gonna attempt to get the bigger bolt off so we have a better flow going on. In hindsight, it may have been good because it kind of slowed down the process of this draining, and I can already, so I've already got some in there, but obviously don't want to leave that going all night because it'll take all night for that to fully drain. So I'm going to take off that bigger bolt. Hopefully we get a nice good flow going. I can drain as much as I can out of there, and then I'm gonna work on dropping the tank. So I will rendezvous with y'all after that. Also, remove the fuel cap. It just says to remove it to alleviate the pressure from the tank. So that's what I did. So that's where I am, and I will let y'all know kind of the rest of the progress here in a second. I finally got it, and it was a pain. That's the fuel tank. So there's nothing sitting underneath the car. So now I can change the fuel pump and the fuel filter. And then the fun part, putting it all back up there. Okay, I'll remove the fuel tank. It was very annoying, actually. Just whenever you move it, this clamp here, you'll see it because this is the fuel filter. You have to pinch it in and then slide that nozzle off. And then this is an evap hose, so you want to make sure to disconnect it. And there's one more evap hose that connects to, no, that's it. So this one and this hose here. So after you disconnect those two, and make sure this wiring harness isn't in the way, make sure that this isn't hung up on anything. This gets hung up on the exhaust. But if you disconnect this, and you disconnect this, and of course you disconnect this, then there's nothing else that holds the tank up except for those straps. You never want to hang the fuel tank by these lines though. So be sure that when you drop it a little bit at a time. That way you can reveal this, and this you just pull off. It's literally just an evap hose, you just pull it off. This one has a clamp, so you just have to undo the clamp. So, but that's pretty much it. The pain about this is I still have this situation going on where that plastic bolt broke in there. But now that the tank's off, I can just address that. Take that off. That was leaking the entire time, which was very annoying. Right now I have all the fuel on that side of the tank, so it's not leaking. Otherwise, it would still be leaking. But I purchased one of these. I have one of these VP racing jugs for the vet, but I had to purchase one of these here, 24 quart container drain. So just have it drain super slow into that, and then occasionally transfer it into this, which has been an absolute pain. Which I'm fixing to empty the rest of that into there, and then I'm going to take the tank and empty it into here too. I should be able to fill this thing. Like I should have enough room in here for the rest of the fuel. If not, I have my methanol jug and another VP Racing jug over there. So easiest way to do this, I accidentally pressed the pause button. Easiest way to do this, honestly, is to not break that bolt, that drain bolt. So I noticed on these instructions, it says to use a backup wrench to remove the drain plug. I don't have a backup wrench. Maybe I do. I don't exactly know what that means, but maybe that's the reason I broke it. If you're more mechanically inclined than me, maybe you won't break the bolt. I'll make life a lot easier, because that's what I spent most of my time trying to figure out is, how do I drop this tank while that's going, and without a transmission stand? So I use a mixture of this little guy here and my Pittsburgh low profile 3-ton jack over here. If y'all don't know, this thing's freaking amazing. Just go to Harbor Freight and get yourself one. It's really helpful. If you don't have a transmission jack, if you do, great. If you have this and a transmission jack, even better. You know, whatever tools you have. So anyway, now I have to figure out how to get this off here, because it seems like you just grab that and turn it, but either mine is extremely tight or I'm doing something wrong. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to get that deal off. And while I'm at it, I'm gonna go ahead and do the fuel filter too. So I'll let you know what I find out on that. Did notice there's like an arrow here, so I just took the dirt and just kind of marked where it is, since I don't have a marker. So just let the dirt kind of help me. So if you have any questions, I guess just message me and I'll get back to you. So if you're doing this job, good luck. I would say if you have the money, just have someone else do it. So let it be someone else's headache. If not, I mean, you learn a skill. This is my first time dropping a tank, so did something different, did something new. It was an experience, but definitely don't want to go through this again. So fix it, make sure everything's good, take my time, and it should be good for the rest of the duration of this vehicle's life, hopefully. So anyway, y'all let me know what you think. I will update y'all whenever I get this off and let y'all know how I got it off and how to replace that fuel filter as well. Okay, I finally got this fuel pump locking ring off. I'm at a whole nother level of irritated because whoever put it on here like cross-threaded it. So I'm hoping that this isn't screwed up. To get this thing off, it was absolutely ridiculous. I tried using that tool, and it was pretty much useless. It did turn it just a little bit, but for the most part, I had to break my brand new fuel pump or oil filter pliers. I mean, it's totally broken. There's a piece right here that was in there. These teeth grip really well on it. So what I had to do was put it around this freaking locking ring, because I tried everything before I resorted to that. I mean, you can see just about every one of those prongs is broken off. So that tool became obsolete because these were broken off. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna end up breaking this tool, which I already knew that. But I gotta get this freaking thing off, because I'm not going through all this trouble to drop this tank to not replace this freaking fuel pump. So I went ahead and, you know, pretty much took that glove and put this over top of this. And the little ridges that I did have, I just had the teeth kind of lock into there, and I just hammered away at this tool, and it slowly, you know, with every hit would slowly start to loosen it up until the end there, where the tool was broken and all the teeth kind of gave out, and I just took the pliers and wrapped it around there and squeezed it together, and I was able to slowly keep turning it. So I really hope that y'all don't have to go through this, but I told y'all I'd let you know how I got this fuel pump locking ring off. So really upset. I mean, this is a brand new tool. I mean, but whatever, I'll just buy another one. This thing works great for our fuel filters, for oil filters. It works great for oil filters. I didn't use the strap. I actually even tried tying stuff around this fuel pump locking ring and trying to twist it, and everything that I threw at it just broke. But this did the trick. I'm gonna need a new locking ring, obviously, and I'm gonna have to examine the threads, but I finally got it off, so I'm gonna go ahead and change this fuel pump out, and also the fuel filter, which I took off. Just as a heads up, these tabs right here, like I said, there's one that you have to take off, that's actually attached to the vehicle. You literally just, you just pinch this and that hose comes off. Just pinch it. I know it won't feel like it at first. It's kind of hard to get off, but you just pinch it and just pull the hose at the same time that these are pinched, because it has these little tabs. So when you pinch it, it releases it so you can pull that tab up. You'll probably need 2 hands to do it. I use 2 hands on one of them and 1 hand on the other. So one was easier to take off. But yeah, just so that y'all know, this thing's a freaking pain. Like I said earlier in the video, it's been like a week now that I've been trying to get this thing off, and I finally got it off. Yeah, hopefully y'all's isn't that difficult. If it is, I'm sorry. I just have someone else do it. Seriously, at the end of the day, let it be someone else's headache. There's just some things on cars that, yeah, it's good to get the experience and the know-how and all that good stuff and save you a lot of money. But sometimes money saves you a lot of stress. And that's okay too. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and change this out, see if I can empty this fuel, because y'all may have known this, but I didn't. But I brought one of my VP racing jugs over here. I'm like, well, I'll just go ahead and drain this so it'll be lighter for me to move around, because I had to put my foot on the fuel tank and turn it, because this thing was on here so tight that every time I try to turn it, moved the whole fuel tank. And there's still a decent amount of fuel. I don't know, you may not have heard it, but there's still a decent amount of fuel in there since this little piece broke off. So that's another thing I got to figure out after I switch this out. But when I was going to try to dump this, there is actually kind of a reverse valve on there, so no fuel can go back through. So I was like, I get it. It's a good idea so fuel don't go back through. But I was like, man, everything I try to do with this thing, I just run into issues. But I finally got it off. That's how I got it. Hopefully y'all's is easier, or maybe you find another way to get it off. But yeah, if you are willing to spend the money to just break one of these things, maybe there's another tool out there that's better for the job, but this is what seemed to do the trick for me, and it's broken. I'll probably keep it just for horse crap like this, but we'll see. All right, y'all.